Yes, once again, good evening to all. Today we have joined for Wednesday Dhamma reading and Dhamma understanding sessions. We will start with Namo Tassa three times. We'll recite all together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammam sangam namassami. Yes. We will be reading today from Bhante Vimalaramsi's transcript of Majjhima Nikāya 9. I will be sharing this through Dhammasukha website Sutta Index. Yes, I think hope my screen is visible. We have 9. We will be reading 9th. Yes. Yes, Nanda madam, you can start reading.
Majjhima Nikāya 9, Right View, Sammādiṭṭhi Sutta, Dhamma Talk by Bhante Vimalaramsi, 24th of August 2001. Bhante Vimalaramsi. Now, the sutta tonight is called Sammādiṭṭhi, Right View, something new and exciting. Well, the reason that I'm reading this is because it has dependent origination in it. Majjhima Nikāya section 1. Thus have I heard, on one occasion the Blessed One was living at Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's park. There the Venerable Sāriputta addressed the monks thus, "Friends, monks." "Friend," they replied. The Venerable Sāriputta said this. Section 2. One of right view is said, friends. In what way is a noble disciple one of right view, whose view is straight, who has perfect confidence in the Dhamma, and has arrived at this true Dhamma? Indeed, friend, we would come from far away to learn from the Venerable Sāriputta the meaning of this statement. It would be good if the Venerable Sāriputta would explain the meaning of this statement. Having heard it from him, the monks will remember it. Then, friends, listen and attend closely to what I shall say. Yes, friend, the monks replied. Bhante Vimalaramsi, this is what they called each other during the time of the Buddha. They didn't have a hierarchy of saying Bhante, Reverend, Sir to a senior monk, and Avuso, or friend, to a junior monk. They just all called each other friend. This little simple statement that says, listen and attend closely to what I shall say, is really a good way of having you settle your mind and let go of any distraction. The closer you listen to this, the deeper your understanding will become. So this is real important that you listen with your whole mind, not asking questions right now. Just listen to the sutta. Majjhima Nikāya, the wholesome and the unwholesome. Section 3. When friends, a noble disciple, understand the unwholesome and the root of the unwholesome, the wholesome and the root of the wholesome, in that way he is one of the right view, whose view is straight, who has perfect confidence in the Dhamma and has arrived at this true Dhamma. Section 4. And what, friends, is the unwholesome? And what is the root of the unwholesome? What is the wholesome? What is the root of the unwholesome? Killing living beings is unwholesome. Taking what is not given is unwholesome. Misconduct, the sensual pleasure, is unwholesome. False speech is unwholesome. Malicious speech is unwholesome. Harsh speech is unwholesome. Gossip is unwholesome. Covetousness is unwholesome. Ill will is unwholesome. Wrong view is unwholesome. This is called the unwholesome. Section 5. And what is the root of the unwholesome? Greed is a root of the unwholesome. Hate is a root of the unwholesome. Delusion is a root of the unwholesome. This is called the root of the unwholesome. Section 6. And what is the wholesome? Abstention from killing living beings is wholesome. Abstention from taking what is not given is wholesome. Abstention from misconduct in sensual pleasure is wholesome. Abstention from false speech is wholesome. Abstention from malicious speech is wholesome. Abstention from harsh speech is wholesome. Abstention from gossip is wholesome. Uncovetousness is wholesome. Non-ill will is wholesome. Right view is wholesome. This is called the wholesome. Section 7. And what is the root of the wholesome? Non-greed is a root of the wholesome. Non-hate is a root of the wholesome. Non-delusion is a root of the wholesome. This is called the root of the wholesome. Section 8. When a noble disciple has thus understood the unwholesome and the root of the unwholesome, the wholesome and the root of the wholesome, he entirely abandons the underlying tendency to lust. He abolishes the underlying tendency to aversion. He extirpates the underlying tendency to the view and conceit, I am, and by abandoning ignorance and arousing true knowledge, he here and now makes an end of suffering. In that way, too, a noble disciple is one of right view, whose view is straight, who has perfect confidence in the Dhamma and has arrived at this true Dhamma. Nutriment, Section 9. Saying, good friend, the monks delighted and rejoiced in the Venerable Sāriputta's words. Then they asked him a further question. But friend, might there be another way in which a noble disciple is one of right view and has arrived at this true Dhamma? There might be, friends. Section 10. When, friends, a noble disciple understands nutriment, the origin of nutriment, the cessation of nutriment, and the way leading to the cessation of nutriment, in that way he is one of right view and has arrived at this true Dhamma. Section 11. And what is nutriment? What is the origin of nutriment? What is the cessation of nutriment? What is the way leading to the cessation of nutriment? There are 4 kinds of nutriment for the maintenance of beings that already have come to be and for the support of those seeking a new existence. What for? They are physical food as nutriment, gross or subtle, contact as the second, mental volition as the third, and consciousness as the fourth. With the arising of craving, there is the arising of nutriment. With the cessation of craving, there is the cessation of nutriment. The way leading to the cessation of nutriment is just this noble eightfold path. That is right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Section 12. When a noble disciple has thus understood nutriment, the origin of nutriment, the cessation of nutriment, and the way leading to the cessation of nutriment, he entirely abandons the underlying tendency to greed, he abolishes the underlying tendency to aversion, he extirpates the underlying tendency to the view and conceit I am. And by abandoning ignorance and arousing true knowledge, he here and now makes an end of suffering. In that way, too, a noble disciple is one of right view, whose view is straight, who has perfect confidence in the Dhamma and has arrived at this true Dhamma.
Yes, madam. Really, this sutta has started with Bhante's sayings about how earlier how monks are called. Like it was said that it was called as friend instead of also or senior monk as Bhante. And Bhante has pointed out here one of the very good thing, the statement which is present in general in every sutta. Listen and attend closely to what I shall say. That means having a collected mind while listening to the Dhamma. It has greater importance what I feel because when we listen to the Dhamma, like in many of the suttas, it is said that if when someone listens to the Dhamma, they will be like there are many people who gets liberated after the Dhamma talk. It is being mentioned here, and and it is very good that when we keep our attention very closely, then it is very helpful that our Dhamma understands very well. And firstly, the sutta started with the wholesome and unwholesome, like keeping the precepts is wholesome, not keeping the precepts is unwholesome. Like we may remind our precepts has to abstain from killing or harming living beings on purpose, to abstain from taking what is not given, to abstain from wrong sexual activity, to abstain from taking drugs and alcohol, to abstain from uh, telling lies, harsh speech, gossip, and slander. These are the things which precepts which we maintain. Definitely, Buddha has taught this when we think about it in a much deeper sense. Without keeping these precepts, one cannot be cannot enable themselves to be a true happiness. What I feel. And here, first they are talking about wholesome and unwholesome. Then next they are talking about what is the root of unwholesome or wholesome. Root of the unwholesome here it is indicated as greed, hate, and delusion. These are the three things which is the root of unwholesome. And what is wholesome? Wholesome has been already defined. And what is the root of the wholesome is non-greed or non-hate, non-delusion is the thing. And it is finally when someone understands it, and definitely he by abandoning ignorance and arousing true knowledge, he here and now makes an end of suffering. Like when someone has a very good foundation, definitely in near future or in future, definitely he will be making an end of suffering by walking on the path. And next, it was talking about nutriment. Nutriment in the sense, a noble disciple understand nutriment like origin of nutriment, cessation of nutriment, the way leading to the end. It's like a fourfold path or four noble truths which Buddha taught. This is the same way what I feel. See, and here the nutriment is physical food has a nutriment first thing, and contact, and mental volition, and consciousness is fourth. And finally, nutriment, the way leading to the cessation of nutriment will lead to noble eightfold path, which is right view, harmonious perspective, right intention, right speech, harmonious communication, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. And it is very good to know that our path of 6 hours follows this noble eightfold path, because it covers sila, samadhi, and panya. It is very good explained. Nanda madam, would you like to add or explain, please?
Yeah, you're very right. Venerable Sāriputta explaining the Noble Eightfold Path in different angles, explaining the unwholesome states, and then how important it is for us to follow the precepts which are wholesome states. And then he further going to in depth explaining the four nutriments, as you said, and linking it to the Four Noble Truths as well. Such a beautiful way of explaining and interlinking the Noble Eightfold Path. I guess only a arahant like Venerable Sāriputta can explain it like that way, interconnecting all the aspects of the Noble Eightfold Path. Just beautiful.
Yes, madam, rightly said. Yes, Chaya madam, would you like to read, madam?
Yes, I can read. Am
Yes,
I
yes,
clear
madam.
enough to hear? Okay,
Yes, madam, you are clear.
sure. The Four Noble Truths. 13. Saying, Good friend, the monks delighted and rejoiced in the Venerable Sāriputta's words. Then they asked him a further question. But, friend, might there be another way in which a noble disciple is one of right view and has arrived at this true Dhamma? There might be friends. 14. When friends, a noble disciple, understands suffering, the origin of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the way leading to the cessation of suffering, in that way, he is one of right view and has arrived at this true Dhamma. Bhante Vimalaramsi. One thing I want to talk about a little bit is the cessation of suffering. Now, the word nibbāna can be mundane just every day, or it can be supramundane. The cessation of suffering. Every time you let go of a hindrance, every time you let go and relax and come back to your object of meditation. That is nibbāna. That is the cessation of suffering. Ni means no more. Bana means fire. So you are putting out the fire every time you let go of one of these hindrances that pulls you away. The analyzing mind, the mind that takes great delight in thinking, is a part of restlessness. And even though it might seem pleasurable and really necessary to do, it is a hindrance to your practice. because it stops you from seeing what's happening in the present moment, and you get caught up in your head. You get caught up in thinking and trying to figure out how every little thing works. Why is it like that? We don't care why. What we want to do with this practice is see how the process works, how the delight and how the restlessness arise. What do you do with that as soon as it arises? Because it's a pleasurable feeling. It's really easy to get sucked into it and think of all the different little ways about this and that, how it can be used. But that does not lead to cessation of suffering. That leads to more suffering. Especially you, Pandita, in Burma. When I would go to a Dhamma talk, he gave interviews to every one of the foreign monks, and there was 20 or 25 of us there. There was a whole bunch of people there, and right before the Dhamma talk, he'd just sit back and kind of laugh and talk about. This really is the Western disease. This analyzing, this trying to figure out how everything works. Too bad it doesn't do anything for you. It just causes you to want to do it more. And this is leading to psychology. Western psychology is about analyzing, it's about figuring out why. But that doesn't lead to cessation of suffering, it leads to continuation of suffering. So we have to let go of trying to analyze how everything works in a particular way. What we want to do is see how it arises. What happens first? I'll give you a clue because I haven't done this before. There's a feeling that arises first that's near to the start of that hindrance. Of all hindrances, they have a feeling that arises first. Now, what happens is there is more before that, and you'll get to see that too. But what happens is that feeling arises, and it's either pleasurable or unpleasurable. And then there's some tiny little thoughts, little quiet thoughts, and then that makes the feeling get a little bigger, and the thoughts get a little bigger, and the feeling becomes big, and the thoughts become big, and then you are out 1,000 miles away trying to figure out why this the way it is. The only way to get to the cessation of how it arises, and as you become more familiar with the pattern of how it arises, you will be able to recognize it more quickly. Now, some people had come to me and they said, well, there's some hindrance arises because there's a feeling in the head, and there's a feeling before that. You have to look deeper. How do you look deeper? Take more interest in how does your mind stay on your object of meditation. The more interested you are in that, the quicker you will see the mind start to wobble and go away. And as you become more familiar with that, you'll be able to let it go right then, and your mind will rest on your object of meditation again. It won't turn into this thing that pulls you away and makes your mind think about this and that. So, we really need to take more interest in your object of meditation. Now, you'll notice every time your interest starts to wane a little bit and get a little bit weak, all of a sudden you get carried away by one of these hindrances, and it's painful. It hurts. The only way to let go of this suffering is by seeing it the way it truly is. It is not a personal process. It happens because conditions are right. And what are those conditions? You are losing your attention on staying on your object of meditation, and then you get pulled away. So to be able to experience the nibbāna, once you get pulled away, now you've got some work ahead of you. You've got to roll up your sleeves and get down. You have to be able to let it go and relax. What good is always thinking about anyway? Let it go. Relax the tightness caused by that and the identification with that. Because when you start analyzing, who's analyzing? I have to find out why this is like this. I have to see all the different ramifications of this. Now that now that I causes a lot of tightness and tension. Now that I causes a lot of tension and tightness arises in your body, especially in your head. So the only way to get to the cessation of the suffering is by letting go, relaxing, coming back to your object of meditation. And that cessation of suffering might last just for a short period of time before your mind gets pulled away again. Every time you let go and you relax and you come back to your object of meditation, there is a little bit relief. Letting go of the like of analyzing is not particularly easy because we've been doing it all our lives. That's what we've been taught to do. But when you start to realize this doesn't lead really anywhere, it doesn't lead to my happiness, it doesn't lead to the cessation of suffering, it only causes more suffering. So, should I let it go and then relax, letting go of that tightness that's caused by the distraction, and then gently redirecting your attention back to your meditation? Take break. No, then I won't be able more to think about it more. But the only way I can really understand something is if I think about it. Not true. You understand by your direct experience. You understand by letting go of this hindrance. As pleasurable as it might be, it's still a hindrance and it can still cause tension and tightness to arise. So, the more we let go of trying to analyze and figure out why this is working this way and start delving into your past and these kind of things, try to bring up examples. All of this is wasted time. You are not meditating at that time. The only time you are meditating is when you recognize that and don't continue, but let it go. Even if you're in mid sentence, doesn't matter. Relax. Come back to your object of meditation. Try to see it with more interest, how your mind gets pulled away, so you can recognize it more quickly and let go of it more easily. That is the only way to dig out the roots and the cause of the suffering. Everything else, it may be really exciting, it may be real fun, it doesn't lead to true freedom. Open up and let it go. Relax. Come back to your object of meditation. I wish I had a nickel for every time I sat that laughs. I'd be a wealthy monk. It's too simple. You remember, I read that thing yesterday. When the universe works on simplicity. So, we have to get down to our basics, the base of the practice. And that is as much fun as it is to think. There is pain in thinking. Let it go. Relax. That doesn't mean Occasionally there won't be a thought. That's an insight, but it happens one time and then it's gone unless you are attached onto it. Oh, I got to think about this one now. It doesn't work. You have to let it go. That's where the true feeling is. That's where the cessation of the suffering is. And that's where nibbāna is. Let go of all the conditions. Let go of all the little tiny desires and the likes and the wants. Let go or even your aspirations. I want to be able to get to this or that jhana by the end of the retreat. All those things are just more hindrances. It's more grist for the mill. The only way we can really progress with the practice is by letting go, opening up to the deeper and deeper levels, letting go of the slightest little tensions in your shoulders, in your back, in your head, but not spend your whole time doing that. Just one time, come back to your object of meditation. Over a period of time, these tension and tightnesses will go away. And then there's only pure mind. There's only the pure observing mind. Even the state of neither perception nor non perception you can be attached to because it is a pleasurable state. All of these states of jhana are pleasurable, but the more you like them, the more you want them, the less progress you are going to make in your meditation. That turns into a big mountain that you have to go over, or actually, you have to start taking away shovel full by shovel full until it's flat. So, the more we allow without getting involved in any way, the more open the mind becomes, the clearer the mind becomes, the more alert your attention is. It is the continual opening and letting go, allowing that's your home base. Always coming back to your meditation object. A strong interest on your meditation, not attached to it, but just real strong interest in how everything arises. How's it there? How it disappears? How it's always changing? How it's not yours? It's just there because the conditions are right for it to be there. And you'll see how fast those conditions change when you start to analyze, when you start to think about. The practice is about continually opening beyond anything you've ever opened before, little by little, and you'll see your mind goes deeper every time you open and relax and let go and come back to your meditation. So you will experience Nibbāna many, many times, the mundane Nibbāna, until finally your mind gets the idea and it does it automatically and it happens to be supramundane. Can that happen in this lifetime? Yes. Can that happen in this retreat? Yes. Can you make it happen? No way. But you can continually keep opening and softening, opening and allowing. You can keep letting all of your little likes and dislikes be relaxing into that, coming back to your meditation. Okay, get off my soapbox now. This is such a nice one.
Really, very interesting thing. Like here, Bante has explained in a deeper way, deeper aspect of how we need to practice and everything. Really. Yes, really, the has even Pai said this. This is really like Bante is explaining the whole process of 6 hours and how do we practice, and finally how this nibbana leads us. It has been explained here, which Chaya madam has read. Thank you, madam, for reading. Really, it is very good explained, like letting go, relaxing. Nibbana, the word of Nibbana is explained by Bhante here as no fire. And Bhante is emphasizing that we need to come out from the analyzing mind and just see, observe, have interest in how our objective, how we are moving from, how our mind is moving from one thing to another, which Bhante phrases many times with a definition of mindfulness. Like mindfulness is remembering to observe how mind's attention moves from one thing to another. It's really very good explanation. And here, one thing Bante was explaining is like, uh, if you want to make in a different way, it is not possible. Bante was saying, and Bante was saying it takes more time. It wastes our time. Bante was telling in one of the sentence here. Very nicely explained how, or when we are meditating, how the object of, like, the moment where the before getting the hindrance, we get a little moments of where we get distracted. Bante was explaining that states. Really very good explained. And finally to Nibbana. And Bante was telling here that whenever we let go, every time we let go and we have develop a pure mind, basically we are developing a supermundane states, supermundane nibbana, which Bante says. And when we continue to do that, we are developing a supermundane states of nibbana, and finally a time will come where it automatically does. That is final nibbana. Very rightly explained. Nanda madam or Chaya madam, Gopinath sir, would you like to add?
I enjoyed reading it very much. I felt as if one whole movie screen is going in front of me, and everything that's happening in the
Regarding,
sitting is
hello, you hear me?
just yes, Gopinath sir.
Is Gopinath sir, you're audible. You can speak, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, the Christina Jones video on how restless mind can be converted into wholesome mind is available.
Okay.
So in that she is saying the importance of 6 hours. By doing 6 hours, you can convert your restless mind into an wholesome mind. Restless mind is happening because of your likes and disliking.
Yes.
Vasana. And immediately that effect can be found out immediately. And restless mind means that like water, no, sea water, how water shakes, same way mind shakes. So she explained it nicely, and it's very good for everyone.
Okay, it is available, sir. I will check it, sir.
Yeah, I checked. I morning only I read it.
I will check it, sir. It is a YouTube channel, sir, which you are saying.
YouTube channel, Tim only, Tim YouTube channel.
Tim, Christian Jones.
Christian Jones.
Good, sir. Nice to see, sir. Yes, Chaya madam, you are saying something.
Most of the people are suffering because of the restless mind nowadays. Immediately mind became restless because of likes and dislikes, which dominates. Likes and dislikes happen because of your vasanas. some people don't like certain food, some people don't like certain climate. So this is rooted in our mind.
Correct. Rightly said.
Okay, over. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, Chaya madam, you can continue.
No, I was just saying that I just felt as if the entire sitting has been just described so well.
Yes.
And what I really liked in this passage was uh, reinforcing the importance of 6 hour, which is, in different ways. Bhante has just tried to bring up this one point over and over again and again, that the moment we redirect our mind back to the object of meditation, we can the sitting can be smoother, and instead of engaging and thinking over it. So very beautifully described passage, and thank you for bringing this up today. Very well described. Yes,
Yes,
I just
again.
felt as if my whole sitting is just in front of me on the page.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice to hear. Nice to hear.
yeah.
Nanda madam, they would like to share.
Yes, I agree with everyone here. Bhante Vimalaramsi beautifully explains the 6 hours in different angles and telling us we've been practicing using our mind in a unwholesome way unconsciously, and he's saying, let go of the attachments and let go of the hindrances and um, relax and let go of the attachments. And he's beautifully explaining, the way I understand is the second noble truth and how to apply the third noble truth um, in detail in a way that we can actually understand and feel in our body that tightness and tension and relax it and smile and radiate metta, and then the hindrances just weakens to such a deep state. The mind becomes very light, and the hindrances become so weakened, and the happiness just follows, as he using this word supermundane states just automatically happens. The mind recognize the relaxed state, and naturally and automatically practice the 6 hour, which is such a simple yet very beautiful and profound method for us to practice. Simply beautiful, yes. Thank you.
Yes. And it also makes us remembering that we need to always come back to our object of meditation in whatever state we are, in whatever activities we are. Definitely it will help us, what I feel so. I think we would like to end here. I will be sharing merits. Yes. Now we'll read together this sharing merit. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear struck fearless be.
May
May
the
the grieving
grieving
shed all grief, and may all
all
beings find relief.
find
May all beings share this merit that we
that
have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness.
happiness.
May
May be
beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanking you all for joining. I wish all beings to be happy and peaceful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
Thanks.
Thank you all. Bye.